everyone. What's up, everyone? Coach Tony here. In this training, we're going to break down the top STEM summer camps and internship opportunities. So in this training, we're going to break down exactly how you can maximize your summer experience through two different formats. Here I have a special guest with me. He'll be helping me talk more about the internship option, and I'll be here to talk about the summer camp option here. If it's our very first time meeting, my name is Coach Tony. I've been helping families with the college admissions process for the last 16 years now, helping students get into pretty much any school you can think of. My start in this industry was learning from UC Berkeley admissions themselves, being a reader behind the scenes, recommending yes and no to students. After that, I got to work at UCLA as a director. I opened my own high school, and I even became TikTok's first college admissions partner, working with schools like Harvard and other schools on really cool partnerships there. Last 16 years, our company has been sending students literally to every school you can think of, top UC schools, top privates, and including the Ivy Leagues as well. And one of the things they all have in common is they're kind of maximizing their summer experiences with either summer programs and internships. So to tee up the internships really quick, I'm going to have Coach Victor introduce himself first. He is our go-to expert when it comes to internships. Coach Victor, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself really quick?
Oh, hi, everyone. This is Coach Victor with College Admissions Secrets as an advisor. And for myself, I actually met Coach Tony 16 years ago when we first started doing admissions together. During that time, we learned admissions with each other. And so because of that, I was able to work in education right afterward. I worked in K through 12 education policy, did some consulting with the city of San Jose and city and county of San Francisco, all about workforce development. And as a result of that, that's what actually led me to grad school, getting my degree in public policy, where I actually did my master's thesis about workforce development. So I'm here to share about my learnings about how, for myself, how I was able to get internships as a student, and also how I was able to help many other students acquire internships through the strategy that I'm about to teach today. So super excited to be able to support you all today. And also, fun fact for myself too, I used to work in tech. This today is about STEM summer programs and internship opportunities. So who better to learn about how to get into tech opportunities than someone who used to work in tech? So therefore, looking forward to be able to teach and support everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach Victor. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quick. And everyone who's here, we are going live to a private little group right now in Zoom. Those of you who can see this, can you guys see the screen? Go ahead and drop a quick yes in the chat. If you guys can see the screen right now, it says STEM summer programs and opportunities as well. Awesome. Thank you, folks. A few yeses popping into the chat there. So thank you, everyone. Before we actually start the trading, one quick little opportunity for you all to take advantage as well too. So like I mentioned earlier, Coach Victor and myself, we work with a lot of students inside our program to help them get into their top choice colleges. If you guys are interested, if you're not yet part of our program, you guys are just interested, like, hey, is my child kind of on the right track? One thing we are going to open up and invite you guys, if you guys want to do a free 15-minute coaching call with our team. It's not a sales call. You actually can't buy anything on this call itself. You actually might meet Coach Victor himself on these sessions. He's one of our top advisors. He's going to help you out, just give you like some feedback, some tips, and hey, here's what you should be working on next. And that's pretty much it. He's not going to sell you anything, because at the end of the day, we want to help you guys make sure you guys are going in the right direction. But if you guys do want to work with us, you can let us know. We can schedule a second call to talk to you guys there. Okay. That being said, let's go ahead and jump straight in. So actually, this is actually a part 2 trading. So last week, I actually did a trading on engineering and computer science summer programs. So you guys want that, let me know. I can get you that replay as well. Today is almost like a part 2 where we're going to focus a lot on the STEM fields, right? Science, technology, engineering, and math. Love those types of field of summer programs. So I compiled a few that I think will be a great fit for a lot of you guys to consider applying to. And I even kind of pulled apart some of their essays and kind of broke it down for you in case you do want to apply to them. Really quick from our last trading, I also broke down why you should and why you shouldn't do a summer program itself, right? The why you should is that these are just really cool opportunities that you can't get in any other avenue of experiences, right? So summer programs is one of those very, very unique opportunities. At the same time, right? At the same time, the why you shouldn't do it just for the name of the program. Again, sure, some programs have a more selective feel to it, but it's not going to play as big of a role when it comes to just name dropping the summer program itself. It's still at the end of the day what experiences you take from the opportunity itself is something that I'll talk about in summer programs. Coach Victor will talk about in the internship. It's why is that a perfect fit for your student there? Okay, so starting first with the very first one itself, Cosmos, right? A lot of us are really quick. Is anyone here in the state of California? For those who are joining, we have over 140 people joining us live right now. Anyone here from California, right? State of California as well. There you go. A few yeses in the chat. For those who are new, I like using the chat. We can chat with each other as well too. So again, boom, there's a lot of yeses as well too. Cosmos is actually a local program to the state of California itself. In fact, I think it actually limits it to California families in particular, right? Cosmos stands for the California State Summer Program, a summer school for math and science. It's hosted at 5 UC campuses, right? It's offered at UC Irvine, UC Davis, UCLA, San Diego, and Santa Cruz. These are just the campuses that is offered. The central like Cosmo program is kind of housed at Davis, but it's kind of offered throughout these various schools. So and each of these have different clusters, aka different kind of pathways of what you're interested in doing. So if you're interested, again, those of you guys who want these notes, I'll give them at the afterwards, right? You guys can get access to these notes here, and I gave you links to everything. You guys can click it and just go explore it as well too. The cool thing about this application is it's not out yet, right? It's not out yet, but again, just like I shared in the last training, is that the reason why we're doing these trainings right now, if you're watching this live, this is the month of November. A lot of these, actually some apps already are open, but some of these apps open next month, right? And you'll see with some programs, they have a very short window of open and close, meaning the more prepared you are going in, the easier the process is. Just like a lot of our students, right, can go through the process very similarly for the college apps, because the college apps don't really change you after the year. So once you know what to expect, you can kind of prepare a lot earlier as well too. So for you guys, this is a really, really cool opportunity. So this is actually a 4-week program. It is very selective. The UCs this is like the UC's summer program that they kind of house under. So one thing you'll notice that a lot of summer programs are typically hosted at a school. This is actually sponsored by the UCs themselves. So it's actually a UC sponsored program. It's not like a program that's housed at the school, right? This is a legit UC, has funding. It pays for this as well too, okay? So the apps will be open. We'll find out exactly. Each year, the apps change a little bit, just like colleges, right? It changes a little bit, but historically, it doesn't. So if it doesn't, there is one essay question that the UC Cosmos will be asking you. So it says, beyond everything that's shared in your app, what makes you stand out as a strong candidate for Cosmos? Is there anything you want to share but didn't find a question or application? Now's your chance. What have you shared to highlight a skill, challenge, or opportunity, right? For those of you who are seniors, right? Those who are seniors right now and you're working on the UC apps, this question looks very familiar, right? This question is almost verbatim the same as PIQ, the UC essay number 8, right? So you would answer it very, very similar there. So here's some tips on how to answer this question, right? Number 1, I have students reflect on personal experiences that shape your interest in STEM. A lot of students just talk about general STEM topics. That's not the key. You have to personalize it for yourself. Maybe any challenges you've overcome, right? Any specific projects you've done as well too. Anything you're involved in. Maybe you're involved in a team role, because again, a lot of the clusters are involved in small teams as well, right? Maybe you've come up with something original or creative. Again, it's one of the core values of what Cosmos is, right? Any inventions you made, any innovations, how it ties in with your future goals and how you plan to use the Cosmos do your future goals is the biggest thing there. Okay, so this is the Cosmos prompt. If you're going to answer it, this is kind of what I recommend as a structure of how you want to answer it here. Okay, the second program I'm going to introduce for you guys today is called the Summer Science Program, right? The Summer Science Program called the SSP. Let me go ahead and change your fat. There you go. Right, the SSP, right? SSP, you guys go summerscience.org. The app is open. Oh, it opens in December 12th, right? It's open December 12th. Deadlines are out there. Here's a little pro tip for students who might be a little young, because some of these you'll see, like this program is only for current high school juniors. Okay, the reason why I asked you guys earlier what grade you guys are in, so I can kind of customize the list based on where you're at. So we do have some juniors here, so this is a perfect program for you all to consider, right? SSP is called Summer Science. There's going to be two deadlines, right? App opens December 12th. It closes for international January 24th. Domestic US folks, February 21st here. This is various locations throughout, and again, it is selective for juniors there. Okay, and then so here are some of the essay questions that they will be asking. Well, these are more of a short answer questions that they will ask you. Again, app hasn't opened yet, so this is more of last year's questions, which again should be this year's questions. And again, they may change a few things, but if they didn't, this is how I would approach the one here too. How did you spend your last time in summer? Again, being very specific and highlighting the activities there, maybe tying it to STEM and mention anything that you have done relating to research, internships, or any projects there. Next question is, what have you done that I'm personally proud of, right? Again, what's something that embodies your personal values, overcoming challenge, or making a positive impact, right? The big thing here, in just like college apps, is not the what you've done, it's the why. Why is this so important to you? And then highlighting the skills, highlighting the traits that you want to share because of this. Next one, what topic do you find interesting? How did you begin to get interested, and why? And how have you explored it? One thing about these types of questions, there's multiple parts. See the word and means answer every single part. Little spoilers, as a reader, I used to read for college apps, I read for scholarships, I read for tons of different things. The first thing we're trained to look for is look for every single part of the question. Do I know what the topic is? Do I know how the student began? Do I know why the student began it? Do I know how they explore it? I'm looking for all the answers, making sure you do the same as well too. Again, what excites you? Telling me the journey of that as well. Again, that's not the key either. That's the what, really quick, but focusing on how you explored it and connecting it with your passion there, right? Next one, there's a why. Why do you want to do this program? This is a very typical college question, right? Why do you want to go to school? And the one thing I would caveat, this is for seniors as well too, for the working on college apps, a little double whammy for you all, right? So the thing is, when it comes to the why us prompt, why major, why college, you have to personalize it. You can't just say, you got college, you have a great curriculum, you have great professors, you have great fill in the blanks. The thing we tell students to look for, we call it the whiteout test. If I whited out the school's name, if I whited out the major, can any other school, can any other major fit it? Can any other program fit it? Hey, I want to go SSP because you guys have an incredible science program, right? I'm able to connect with others and build a community. Can't you say that with Cosmos? Hey, I want to go Cosmos because I'm able to build a community. You have awesome program. So you can. So you see how that's not specific enough. The why needs to be a clear, number here, clear understanding of what SSP offers and how it relates to your goals in particular, right? And again, this one, SSP has a few different programs under it, right? You guys can go ahead and pick the program. And again, why? Why does it match what you want to do here? Okay. And then again, what part of it is very particular to you that you enjoy? Again, try to keep this as SSP-like as possible, because this is the prompt that you're answering here. You should be able to copy this answer to another school, to another program, because it's so different, right? Next one, communities can be large, defined or informal. tell us a community you belong to, how it contributes, and what you learn from it. So again, very easy. 3 parts, 3 questions. Choose the community, right? Could be however you want to define community. Number 2, what's your role? What do you contribute to that? What's your growth, right? And tie it back in, because this is a science program, tie it back to the science, right? What do you do for free time? This is a personality. Law schools have a fun question in there. They just want to learn more of who you are. This is that fun question for the SSP, right? So sharing things, don't just say, I like science. You already had 5 problems talk about science. Make this be a more fun one about who you truly are as a student. Okay. Are these breakdowns useful? Are you guys good? You guys just want like just the programs, and that's it. You guys want the breakdowns too? Is that useful? Well, we have almost 200 people here. Thank you, everyone. Is the essay breakdowns useful for you all? If not, I can just name drop the programs and call it a day. Yes. All right. Cool. There we go. Thank you. All right. Let's keep doing it. Right. Next one. UCLA Application of some Nanoscience Summer Program. Right, this one's offered at UCLA campus. This is a pretty fun one. So I was talking to a student actually earlier today, and then we were talking about summer programs and what makes them a little different from each other. And the big question I threw back at the student was like, "Hey, what are you looking for in a program?" And she was like, "Oh, I want something in these fields, and I also want short, because I have other things I want to do as well too." So that's something to consider when you're looking into summer programs. Also, some of these are like full on like 8-week long programs, right? Cosmos 4-week long program. There's also really short one. This is an example of a really short one. This is a 1 week. Come on Monday, leave on Friday. Kind of a really quick turnaround time. You get the experience, you get the immersion, you get the experience, but you kind of get out really fast. So you're able to do other things. Again, a lot of our families travel during summer. I don't want to take that away from you. Still do it, but then you'll still be able to have some things that you can consider as well, right? So here's one. This is actually open to all high school students, by the way. So this is actually pretty cool. This one, they're going to ask you to submit a short, a value statement of your thing. They do say do not use ChatGPT or do not use AI. Highly recommend don't do that. If they say don't do it. Again, one thing that for those who are in the seniors right now currently, a lot of you guys, not saying I caught it, but there's very clear traits of AI. And just 2 cents, I'm so pro. I am super duper pro AI, but I never want to get in trouble. That's kind of my big thing, right? So when it comes to this, right, if they say don't do it, don't do it. If they don't say anything, feel free to leverage it to help you out. Again, I don't see anything wrong with you using it to talk and bring ideas out. There is a line that I don't really cross of like, let's just use it to write our responses. I think that crosses some moral line as well too. But this is a sincere statement of who you are as a person. They also have 2 short answers. 250 is really quick. 250 is like 1 paragraph, right? So really quick. Again, what interests you in science or technology, and how will participation in this program help you achieve your goals? Again, this is specifically about this program. You should know things about this program to highlight, this is going to help me get to where I want to go next. Okay. And then the second one's 100, even shorter. 125 is like 3 sentences, 4 sentences, right? How'd you hear about nanoscience and nanotechnology? What's your understanding? Again, this is a nanoscience summer program. Keep in mind, there is a bunch of summer programs. Last week, I did one on engineering, computer science. Today, I'll be focusing on STEM. Tomorrow, those who want to join me, I'm doing a training on non-STEM. So students who are not interested in any of the sciences. So if you're interested in like journalism, in business, in arts, there's a bunch of programs for you as well too. So you'll see there's tons and tons of programs in literally every state, in every category, right? So these are I'm just helping you compile a few of the bigger ones that we see a lot of our students apply to. But again, keep looking and see if there's any local opportunities to where you guys are from here. Next one, Stanford SUMaC. This is the math camp as well too. This is online and virtual, again, online and in person. Keep in mind, you don't have to actually physically go there, right? In post 2020, a lot of these programs embrace the online nature of everything there. So again, that's a really awesome topic here. They have a video essay. This is a little different, right? A little different than everything else. So when it comes to the video essay, it's not like written word. They're seeing you. They're seeing who you are as a person. This is a chance to show your personality, right? It's hard to show personality on writing, and some students kind of try too hard that it doesn't come off correctly. But for here, it's a great opportunity. So again, a few tips as well too. Again, keep it concise, stay within limit, eye contact with the camera. Here's a little pro tip for you all. There's an app out there. So this is a pro tip, tech tip from Coach Tony, right? Tech tip from Coach Tony. There's a really cool app called Descript. If you guys can look it up, descript.com. It's free. I think it's free. There's a free version, and you can pay, but there's a free version of the app. And the cool thing about Descript is, sometimes it's hard to like say what you want to say. So it's easy to have a teleprompter, right? Like put an iPad and read off the iPad. But if you do that, you can tell your eyes are looking like that way to a side of the screen or a different up and down. What Descript does, and there's a few other softwares to do it too, but Descript's what I can think of right now, right? It would change your eyes to look at the camera. So the person watching you on the other side doesn't know that you actually looked over for the teleprompter stuff. But again, that's gonna be a real teleprompter. Really cool combo for anyone doing a lot of video-based things there, okay? Again, show enthusiasm. That's how you can show. It's hard to show it in words. It's really, again, you can see, I see a lot of comments in, by the way, thank you for the comments. Feel free to keep shooting the comments over, right? Coach Tony, you're so passionate about college admissions. Coach Victor, those who haven't heard him talk, you'll see we're really passionate about what we do because, again, it comes off in how we talk, right? It's different than an email, right? You guys probably saw my emails like, oh, junk mail. Oh, spam. Right? But when you're here, when you're like, we're not physically here, but we're like here, right? Right? You can feel the energy. You get excited because I am excited. That's the biggest thing that a video essay can help so much that a normal, typical written essay doesn't allow you to do. Again, same thing, every other thing the same. Do the same things there. Again, really cool. Audio lighting plays a big role. So definitely do really, really well. Dress appropriately for the interview because it's almost an interview as well too. So lots of really things there. Again, rewatch the video. You can re-record it and make sure it's perfect as well. Okay. Another really cool one to share with you guys is called Sage, right? Sage is called Sage is the Science Accelerating Girls Engagement Camp at SLAC. This is at Stanford, right? It's at Stanford specifically as well. It's a week. It is free, right? A lot of the programs I mentioned last week were also free, right? Because again, you hear a lot of stories of these summer programs being very expensive, which they are, right? So if you look at them, they are going to be expensive. Some of the programs I mentioned today do have a cost. Them is not everything is free, but keep in mind the free ones are the more competitive ones as well too, right? So it's you pay a lot of money or it's free, very competitive. Though you kind of have those two extremes when it comes to this as well too. But right, it's a really, really cool program. They're hosting it around the Stanford area as well. You can definitely like be involved in science stuff. If the app isn't open yet, it'll be open in January. You guys can take a peek at that. And then again, usually we'll break down the questions for our students to help them out with this here. Okay. And I listed a few more things for you guys to consider as well too. There's AstroCam. There's Michigan State High School. They offer an engineering program over there. The Jackson Laboratory in Maryland has one as well too. Science Camp in Hawaii as well. U.S. Naval has a STEM program in Maryland. Minneapolis, aspiring scholars directed. This is the Bay Area, right? So those of you guys in Bay Area, not a lot of our families in Bay Area. In New York, there's a Garcia Summer Research Program. MIT offers the Beaver Works Summer Institute there, and Boston also offers RISE as well too. And some of these do cost money, some of these are free. The biggest thing is to kind of just evaluate, see what these schools offer, right? And see, is it a right fit for my child or for you're the student, for me? Because at the end of the day, right, you don't just want to pick a program just because of the name or because of whatever. Think of it as, would you get excited going there? Do you want to go there? That's the biggest first filter question that you want to ask yourself, okay? But when it comes to summer programs, right, one of the things, again, I kind of mentioned them both, again, the two big downsides. Again, there's tons of awesome things about summer programs. A lot of our kids do it. They love it, right? But there are a few downsides to summer programs, two really big ones. The first one is cost, right? The first one is cost. These do cost a pretty penny. Some of these are in the thousands, closer to like 5 figures as well too. It's crazy as well too. But again, that being said, you can't really replicate his experience in other ways. But is a price tag. So for families that are more budget conscious, right, that might deter you from this opportunity. The other thing, like I mentioned, there are a lot of free ones. The big one I mentioned last one, the MIT ones are free, right? The reason why it's so competitive, it's super competitive. So now you're competing against a lot of people, right? Again, right here we have over 200 people. Thank you, everyone here, right? I bet you most of you guys will be applying, which means most of people will be applying, which means when you add up, you're in thousands of people applying for only a few spots. And that's what makes these programs super competitive. So the question is, what can we do? Right? So that's why I also asked Coach Victor to join me on this session here, because again, if you don't want to struggle with the price tag, if you don't want to struggle with the competition, there is one option out there that we've been helping our students do to help them out with this there. Okay, so Coach Victor, do you want me to type for you? Or you want to share your screen?
I'm going to share screen if
All
you don't
right, all
mind.
right. So we're gonna turn out to Coach Victor, everyone. He's gonna be talking about about internships in particular.
All right. Also, I just want to throw out that we're going to have a freebie in this too. I have an internship strategy guide that I created in the past. And in here, there's a database of different internships that you can go into to check out, and also some guides in there. So for those who are part of our program, I'll definitely share on the Discord, and you can always tag me on Discord too. We'll be able to share it in there. Also, if you want to talk about during my office hours on Thursdays, totally can. And also, if you want to get on a coaching call, if you're not part of our families yet, join one of our 15-minute coaching calls, and I'll be more than happy to provide this to you. But let me go into directly about another way to be able to grab internships and also to get work experience. So this is about networking to your dream job or internships. And so I'm going to share you some insider strategies about things that I've done in the past and also helped other students be able to do as well. So first off, before we talk about internships, it's really important that what gets you prepared for an internship. You can't just jump into an internship right away, because the point of an internship is to be able to provide some sort of value to the people that you're working for. So there's this sense of phases in work-based learning. First phase is shadowing, just observing, right? You're not really responsible for anything. You're just there to learn. So just being able to network with different professionals and trying to figure out, is there anywhere that you could just watch them do their work, right? The second part, once you're able to understand a little bit more about the environment, the next part is to do some project-based learning. In this case, you deliver a scope of work where you can apply the skills and experiences that you've learned from that shadowing. Meaning that once you learn about like, hey, this is what engineers do, this is what designers do, this is what like product managers do, or whatever job that you're interested in. It doesn't always have to be technology either. You eventually learn how to pick up the skills and experiences that they're looking for in order to like get into that job. So you are creating a project yourself that you are practicing those skills. And then once you're done with that, then you can go for an internship, okay? Don't just jump directly into an internship if you have no skill sets to offer. Because if you go into an internship or try to ask or try to get an internship and you have no skills, they're not going to hire you, right? So I'm going to teach you a little bit more about how does this actually work. So first off, I want to just kind of showcase a few of the different types of internships I gained in the past, and these were all kind of paid opportunities in terms of being able to follow this strategy. And so this was where I was able to get paid. And again, the whole point of being paid for internships, you can get paid for internships if you have something of value to be able to provide. So I'll share with you about how is it that you can prep yourself to be able to do that. Of course, if you're in high school, right, it might be a little bit more difficult, but I know of some high school students who do actually get paid for internships, and it's possible. So first of all, how do students typically apply for internships, right? The most typical way is that people might go on LinkedIn. If you're a student and you don't have a LinkedIn yet, I highly suggest that you start a LinkedIn already. As folks may know, right, LinkedIn is pretty much your professional social media profile. It is how professionals get to know you and understand what are your experiences. Eventually, as you're applying for internships, people are going to be looking up your own social media profile on LinkedIn, because they want to know, does this person actually have experience? You can already be ahead of the game in comparison to your peers, because majority of high school and college students don't even have a LinkedIn profile yet. So if you start one now and start trying to populate what projects you've worked on. So for example, like if you worked on a project in class, like maybe you, I don't know, developed some type of website, or you were able to create some type of project with your peers, that's something that you put on there. And then you can use LinkedIn to be able to look for internships. But also know that there are thousands of other students or hundreds of other students really competing for the same opportunity. So in this case, right, it might be a bit challenging to follow this method, but and also because of that too, people are just kind of searching through all these different types of jobs. They don't know what they're looking for, and also they might not necessarily fit the qualifications. So going to the next part here, another typical thing that students do is that they apply for these big summer programs. As Coach Tony shared, right, Cosmos tends to be one of the most popular ones. And because of that, you're competing against thousands of other students. So in this case, like, it's still a really great program. I think I highly recommend that folks should still be able to apply and still be able to try to see their get their foot in the door. But at the same time, too, the downsides of it is that you're competing against everyone else, and also you can't control your experience. The whole point of internships, to be quite honest, is so that you could be able to gain certain experiences. And it's important that you are intentional about the type of experience that you want to gain. So because of that, as you're going through Cosmos, you don't really have much control over your experience, and it's not as personalized. The thing is, a lot of students are also going to be applying to these colleges or these universities, and they are probably going to have Cosmos on their resume too, right? And the whole goal here is to work smarter, not harder. You want to be able to stand out and demonstrate what is it that you can offer, what you did that is unique to everyone else. A lot of people come to us and they ask us, hey, how do you stand out in the college admissions process? Well, you got to think differently. You can't just do what everyone typically does. And so we'll teach you about how to do that. So what's the secret? How do you actually do it? Okay, spill the tea. So I'm about to get there. So first off, let's take a step back. Why do jobs exist? Okay, real quick in the chat. Why do jobs exist? Anybody? This might be a really hard question. It's okay if folks might not know, but at the very least, though, in terms of why jobs exist, is because, oh, someone answered it. There's a need to help others. Awesome. Thank you. So economics 101, if you haven't taken economics class, well, this is your quick crash course, is that someone is willing to pay someone to alleviate a pain or to make them happier, right? There is a need. There's a reason why we pay people to purchase food, right? It's because we don't want to make it ourselves. We are hungry, and therefore we're willing to pay someone to give us food. And especially, I don't know, my wife's love language is DoorDash. She's willing to pay someone to drive over with food to deliver it. So that's kind of the same thing. So in this case, right, what in terms of context for yourself is that someone who's willing to pay someone, that is an employer with problems. They are experiencing issues that they need help with. And you are that student, is that person that can help alleviate that pain. So you have to understand what is their need, right? So the way to think about need, right, is to think about what is the value that you can offer to alleviate that particular pain. If you want someone to pay you, you must have high value. And in order to have high value, value is a simple equation of just benefits minus costs. The benefits here are, like, for example, the hard skills that you have. Like, do you have like technical skills? Are you able to like code something up? Are you able to create something, right? This is generally acquired through school. This is generally acquired just from your own project-based learning, as I mentioned, or just from being able to complete a simple task that you've ever done in the past. So everything that you've used, such as software, even ChatGPT is a skill too. So just know that it's now called prompting. AI prompting is now an actual skill that people need to have in the workforce as well. Secondly, there are soft skills too. These are the people skills or interpersonal skills. Just because you're really good at coding doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be easy for you to get an internship, because you have to be able to learn how to talk to people, right? A whole part of this is about being able to network and being able to converse with others, because you want to understand how to connect with them. And this is generally acquired through experience, such as shadowing. If you shadow and you're able to get into a place and just observe everything, you have a better understanding of how the workplace and culture operates. So as a result of that, right, you're gaining soft skills just by shadowing, and you gain the hard skills through project-based learning. So by being able to combine the two, you are setting yourself up well for an internship. So let's go into the next part about cost, okay? There's a reason why internships are hard to get. It's because people don't want interns, right? Let's be real. If you are a parent here, right, and you are probably working at some type of place, think about an intern that you might have had ever in the past, right? For the most cases, they don't provide much value, unfortunately, right? And also, there is a lot of cost associated with that. So, for example, there are financial costs and attention costs. So, financial costs is that one, it costs money to be able to hire them. Even if they're working for free, it still costs money to even put them inside your organization because you have to pay for their technical equipment, their software. You have to get human resources to recruit and onboard them and train them. There's a lot of costs that are associated just to even onboarding anybody, even a volunteer. Secondly, there's attention costs, right? There's supervision time, training time, onboarding time, and I think this tends to get overlooked pretty often. The attention costs are so high for interns because interns don't typically know what they need to do. And so therefore they need a manager to constantly like work with them to tell them, hey, do this, do this, do that, right? And that's why it's so important that you do project-based learning before you actually do an internship. Because the reason for that is that you actually know and understand why why this job exists and how is it that you can provide benefits to them. The ones who are able to create an internship for themselves are those who are self-sufficient. They don't need direction in terms of what they need to do because they are taking initiative already. If you are part of our coaching families, right? One of the things that we always tell you is that you need to take initiative in developing your passion project or personal project. And the reason for that, right, is because you don't have to wait for college to actually start learning. You don't have to wait till college until you actually start working in this career. You are already doing it, right? The whole point of college admissions is to show that you are benefiting from this college education. And also at the same time, you know that it will benefit you because you've already experienced it yourself. And that's what they're looking for within these admissions. It's not necessarily that you need an internship. It's that you are showing that you're willing to put an extra initiative and effort into creating these experiences for yourself. So that's the cost here, right? The attention cost is super huge for interns. And for yourself, you need to understand what is it that you need to do without bothering your manager in this case. So let's assume that you already have gained value. You understand what is that you can provide. And now how do you actually get an internship or a job? Okay, great question. And first thing before we answer that is that your value is perceived differently by every employer because value is based on the employer's needs. I really appreciate Mark here answering in the chat about a need is really important for a particular job. People pay someone in order to alleviate a need. So in this case, you can't just develop skills in general to be able to get an internship. You have to be able to develop specific skills for a particular problem. So the whole point here, and I love this question that someone brought up, what kind of skills of value a high schooler can bring to the table? That's exactly what you need to question. You need to do informational interviews, which I'm about to get into, and understand what is it that they are experiencing in that moment. And so one of the question then becomes, how do I find employers who have a need that I can fulfill with my skill sets? So there's a quote that I really love here from MJ DeMarco. He's some type of millionaire, billionaire, but he mentions that attributing success to luck is partially true. Success is about creating processes that increases your probability of luck to occur. And this quote is super powerful because in ways, right, I think a lot of us, we might say, oh, I'm lucky or I'm unlucky. And in ways, we kind of, I don't know, leave it up to the universe to hopefully like give us this I don't know, success of luck. But in reality, you have to put yourself out there in more opportunities for luck to occur. So what that means is that the question then becomes, how do you increase your value and your reach? Okay, we talked about value, right, which is essentially the skill sets that you bring to the table. And you learn that through being able to understand from shadowing, from project-based learning, and then to internships. And the next part is reach, because if you go and increase your value and reach, then you become very employable, and then it makes it easy for you to get an internship. So how does reach actually happen? Okay, how do you break down reach? First part is the number of connections, and the second part is the influence. So the number of connections, right? There's different types of connections. There's the deep connections and the weak connections. This matters in terms of differentiation because think of it this way. Your deep connections are people who you already have high quality relationships with. This is your family, this is your friends, this is your community. These are the people that you already know. There are your inner circle, and because of that, they have probably a lot of deep knowledge about you, who you are, what your strengths, what your weaknesses, and what your goals are. And the weak connections are actually the ones that we want to tap into the most. These are the high quantity of relationships who are not in your inner circle. These are people with new information and opportunities, and they have a low commitment in terms of being able to like connect with you on a frequent basis. This is a colleague. And the weak connections actually are the people who you probably will be able to attain an internship from. And it starts from using your deep connections. So I'll explain that in just a bit. The second part is the influence. There's high influence and low influence. So when it comes to creating an internship, right, one of the things about developing this is not everyone can just easily offer you an internship right off the bat. There are certain people in the organization that have decision-making power to be able to decide if there is a use or a value to have an intern in the first place. So the important part is being able to learn and understand how to be able to find the people who have the potential to give an internship. And in most cases, right, the thing about internships is that uh, it's there's no like necessarily like a specific regulation or specific kind of formality to it. In ways, anyone can create an internship really easily. So, for example, if you're a parent, right, and you let's say like you own your own company or you run a small business, you can technically just have like your kid or some other kid like be like the intern. Like you just all of a sudden just be like, hey, you're now an intern. And like in ways, right, the internship is like kind of it sounds like a formality, but in reality, right, you're just trying to find somebody who has the influence of, hey, can this person help bring me into their organization and just help out there, right? Just volunteering. The other way to think about internships is just volunteering as well. So in this case, right, creating your internship, there's a few kind of step-by-step process. Now that we understand the value, right, how do you increase the skill sets that you are able to offer? You learn that again through shadowing, through project-based learning, and by having more conversations with people and prospective employers, you are able to understand what particular skills are needed, okay? And in most cases, because there's a lot of high school students here, right? It's there's also still a lot of needs and jobs that are required at a company where they can benefit from high school students. They just don't necessarily know who can actually do it. And so you're trying to find out and figure out what those opportunities are. The second part, again, is the reach, right? Once you're able to understand your value, then next part is how do you like expand your network and be able to connect with those weak connections to be able to identify those opportunities. So I'm going to go through a step-by-step kind of process about like how I did it and also how some other students were able to do it as well. So first of all, develop a list of organizations. So in this case, right, just being able to find the organizations that matter, that really are important to you, and thinking about in your local area. The best organizations, I would say, to be able to create your own internship is through small startups or small companies that don't have that many people. There's a lot of moms and pops places in different places. So like, for example, even if you're like, let's say you're in pre-med, right? One of the recommendations that we kind of tell our students is like, hey, just reach out to the small clinics, right? The moms and pops clinics that are private practices that you can reach out to. For if you're looking into tech, right? I'm sure there are a lot of tech companies that are all virtual, and you can be able to reach out to them, or you can try to find out to the people who are in your local area. So in ways, don't feel bound of your location to be that decides what opportunities are available. You can always create your own opportunities. And the best way to create your own opportunities to do virtually is through networking, by connecting with people. So that's step two, identifying the context. In ways, through contacting people, you are trying to find the individuals who might have some influence, right? And who looks someone that has like some type of connection with you. So, for example, you don't want to just reach out to the CEO or the like top person in a company, right? Because they're not going to answer you, right? So you want to find like someone that's like maybe in the middle management or someone that is like relatively new to the company or fresh in the company as well, because they're more likely to respond to you. And the goal here, right, is to be able to connect with the people who are more open to responding to you. And in this case, right, when you initiate that contact, you want to schedule a meeting, maybe about 15 to 30 minutes at the very most. And you want to set up a whole bunch of questions. This is step four of preparing the informational interview. You want to understand, you want to prepare your questions to understand the need that they have at their company. By being able to parse out the details of like saying like, hey, right now I see that you are a company working on XYZ. I'm kind of curious, like, what is the current issue that you're working on right now? What is the current projects that you're working on right now? Okay, cool. And what are some challenges that you are encountering while trying to be able to do this? Okay. And as someone that is like a young student that is trying to prepare to work in this field, what kind of skills do you think I need to develop as a student to be able to work at this company? And then from there, you got a lot of information. You're just able to, one, understand the pain or the problem that you're experiencing, and second, you're getting specific advice on the skills or experiences that you need to develop in order to support them. And that's where, again, you can either transition it into one, shadowing, right? Hey, do you mind, like, is there any possibility that I could be able to just watch and understand like how your company operates? I'm very new. I'm like, a fresh student and I'm trying to understand and learn like what kind of career opportunities there are for myself. And so if it's okay with you, like I just want to be able to watch like what you do for work. Like, can I just like shadow you? Is that okay just for one day? Cool, right? And then, or like once you're able to actually get in and like kind of shadow, then from there, you'll be able to identify what are some potential project-based learning opportunities that you can maybe practice yourself at your own time. And from there, that becomes part of your portfolio. And so after you conducted that informational interview that I kind of just mentioned in terms of asking those specific questions, you can always follow up with that portfolio saying like, hey, this is what I've done and this is what I created. And I'm wondering if there's some type of way that we could be able to like create something here. Uh, I know that there's a lot of questions also. A good question about is this for ninth graders also? Yeah, actually, most definitely, right? Just because you're young doesn't necessarily mean that you can't be able to do these things, right? And for one of my first internships, like way back then, was actually in like 12th grade. And of course, like ninth grade, that's still a bit younger, of course. But at the very least, like having a bit of an understanding of just being able to network, it's never too early to start networking. It's never too early to be able to like learn about what are the different opportunities out there. And so something I will encourage everyone is to just talk to a lot of people. One of the major ways to be able to acquire an internship opportunity or work-based learning opportunity is by understanding your networks, right? So yes, you can apply to all the different types of summer programs and jobs, and that's totally fine. That's totally up to you. And you can compete against them and you could go against all the other competitive students. Or you can try to create your own internship. And you're creating your own internship is very similar to creating your own passion project, okay? The only difference between a passion project and internship, but if you create it yourself, is that the passion project, you tend to do it by yourself at your own time. The internship is through with like maybe like a company of some sort or through an organization. So those are all like kinds of similarities here in terms of at the very end of it, right? Remember, this whole thing is about college admissions. When it comes to college admissions, it doesn't matter per se about whether if you have an internship or a summer program on your like kind of application. What matters the most is about what did you learn from that experience? What is it that you gain from it? And how do you know that you want to go to college and what you want to major in? And that is kind of based on your own kind of internship or your opportunities. Okay. And so when it comes to this, right, also to know as like a what a great thing about creating your own internship too, that that people don't realize is there actually is no age limit here. You don't necessarily need to be at a certain age to actually have an internship because in ways, right, you can kind of qualify as anything as an internship. Anything work experience related is considered an internship. And in ways, right, even if you create your own project-based learning and you're able to like deliver it to some type of other person or a company or whatever, then that it counts as an internship there as well. And you can totally use that for your application. So that being said, like that is kind of the gist in terms of some strategies about ways to create your own internship. And again, choose the best strategy that works for you, right? Whether it's about applying to a summer program, competing against hundreds of other or thousands of other people, whether it's about trying to apply locally, or whether it's about trying to create your own internship. So I'm going to pass it back to Coach Tony.
All righty. Thank you, Coach Victor. We had a few questions pop in the chat. We'll go ahead and do some Q&A right now. But before we jump into that, just want to share, again, we have some freebies for you guys. If you guys are interested, again, you can see Coach Victor is one of our top advisors. If you guys want to do your 15-minute call with him, he can kind of point you guys in the right direction. Just text the word Victor to 949-298-6233. 634. If you guys want his guide, he shared a internship guide of like different types of internships you can apply for. If you want to do that one, text the word guide. He'll pass to me. I'll pass off to you. Is the thing there. So that's there. And then if you're interested in my notes for these notes right here as well, we got to clean a few things up, so we can't send it right away, but we'll add a few more additional things on this doc, and I'll probably link a few extra resources for you guys, and I'll send it over for notes as well too. Okay, so if you guys are interested in any of these, again, please don't message it inside Zoom. I do not have your phone numbers unless you guys want to drop your phone numbers and I can text you afterwards. But go on your phone, text number 949-298-6234. If you register this event, it's the same number I text you from. So that's the number there. So go ahead and text the words Victor, guide, and notes. And then we can definitely get you guys those things. Okay. A few questions here. Coach Victor, question here earlier. Are summer programs with fees impressive to admission officers, or are they considered pay-to-play programs?
Yeah, that's a great question. Again, one of the things that we emphasize, right, is at the end of the day, it's about the learning. A typical admissions officer won't even know if you paid for it, or they don't have all the summer programs on the top of their head about what exactly is each program about. So anyways, admission officers don't necessarily care too much about which type of program that you kind of went into. What matters the most is about the learning. What did you actually gain from that experience? What did you learn about how does it inform your major? How does this inform your college trajectory? And essentially just being able to present that. Coach Tony, what do you have to say about it?
100%. I think the thing, especially seniors who've been working with us, you're seeing that we're scrapping up most of the story, right? Or you try to brag about all these special things you did. We're like, that's cool. How do you condense that to one sentence, right? And then so for a lot of people who do things to look good for college, you get a little disappointed, like, wait, I did all that work. I'm like, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that but that's not the key, right? The key is not the what you did, like exactly what Coach Victor is like literally nail in the coffin or nail on the head. I forgot that term. But basically, you're sharing the why. Why did you do it? So again, going off of these are just opportunities for you, right? Should every student do summer program? No, I don't believe so. I don't think some students care about summer programs, or that's not something that excites them. Internships, they might be something they're interested in more. And a lot of our students are more hands-on. They like that more. Some of our students don't. A lot of our students, no, I don't want to talk to anybody. Maybe internships or I don't have a lot of skills. Maybe internship might not be the best one, but maybe research, right? So again, there's tons and tons of different options. The what is kind of irrelevant, right? So when you hear a lot of families, again, this is like the easy question, Coach Victor and I get when we do calls with the families, they always ask it, so what internship should my kid do? Or what summer programs or what research programs should we do? And they're so adamant that getting into a certain program is going to get into college admissions. The answer is no. That's all. Can you? You can. But then the easy question we ask is why? Why do you want to do that? And typically the answers aren't really what we were looking for, right? Because again, there's a reason why you do summer program. There's a reason why you do research. There's a reason why you do internships. But typically for a lot of people, the answer for you guys is it looks good for college. And I would recommend, that is our reason. But again, so one quick example, I was talking to one of our coaching students this last week about was, let's say you do research on eyes, right? The example was research on eyes. So let's say you do research on like cataracts, the eye stuff, and then people are like, and I ask you, why did you do it? And then this student, for example, had no reason. I'm like, cool. There's no real reason because you just wanted the research there on there, then you did it to look good for college. It's not a bad reason. It's just a reason. But let's say student number 2 did that research because their family suffers from an eye disease, that same eye disease, that they cannot figure out why they did it. And because the student has a love for learning and interest in science, right? He/she went and did this and explored that more. So now when you compare both those students, right? The stuff's the same. The what's the same. Again, whatever you guys end up doing in high school, by the way, it's not that special anymore, right? So the what's are the same. The difference is the why. Why'd you do it? And that's the big key thing here, okay? Someone asked here, what's the website with a list of internships? Where can I find? That's something Coach Victor actually put together. So he actually scoured the interwebs and condensed it. If you guys are interested, again, just drop the word guide in the chat, and then I'll grab it for him. I'll send it over to you. It's you can probably Google it if you want to as well. But then Coach Victor basically compiled and found a lot of programs that are kind of age appropriate as well. Again, please don't text it in the Zoom unless you want to drop your phone numbers, but I don't have your phone numbers on Zoom. Zoom doesn't tell me that. So go ahead on like texting, go to iMessage, go to Apple, go to Google Android texting, text the word the word guide 949-298-6234, and we'll text it over to you, not Zoom it over. Okay.
Yeah. Also, something interesting with a recent coaching family is they were telling us like, hey, can you tell like us like what specific internship that I should apply to for this upcoming summer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in ways, the coaches will probably not give you a straightforward answer because that's not how admissions works, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about trying to get into the best opportunity and then being able to say like, just by having this on my list, this is going to make me look good for college admissions. At the very end of the day, the way that Coach Tony is like asking is emphasizing the why is because at the end of the day, your summer opportunity is something about learning. What is it that we want the student to learn? What is it that you want to learn from this summer internship?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have a strong, compelling why, then at the very end of it, it actually doesn't matter what you do. It matters
Yeah.
more so about what is it why is it that you're actually doing this type of research? And that can create a passion project, an internship, a summer program. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Tony, you have any thoughts on that?
No, that I could not say it better myself. Someone's asking for the phone number. It's on the screen. I'll message it one more time, 949-298-6234. And Coach Victor, just to kind of throw you on the bus real fast, as you were talking, I asked the audience if they would like to do a LinkedIn 101 training for high school students, and I got a lot of yeses. So I may rope you back in for another training on LinkedIn 101 if you can help set that up for our families. Okay. So that's that. With that being said, that's pretty much it. We do have to bounce off. Coach Victor and I do have another call to bounce off on in a minute. But if you guys are interested in jumping on a free call with Coach Victor, again, you'll see how smart he's literally one of our top advisors. Text the word Victor to 949-298-6234. If you're interested in his internship guide, text the word guide 949-298-6234. If you want my notes, give me a day. I'm going to add a few more things on there for you guys to help you guys out a little more. Text the word notes 949-298-6234. Right? That's pretty much it for me. Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. And I'll see you guys on the next session.